Do you know how much Disney has lost in a year and a half of their stock? Do you know how much they've lost?
I don't know the details, but I do know I've read a good amount about just like I don't know if it's the boycotting just of like the certain movies that they're putting out like that, but I've seen it go down.
So $195 billion. They've lost 56% of their stock. It's so
$195 billion. That's a lot.
bad right now that guess who's celebrating behind closed doors? Apple, because Apple's the only one that can buy them. And now Bob Iger is kind of trying to split up the company so people can buy pieces at a time.
And this is facts.
These are facts. This is online. You can go
Yeah.
take a look at this. So they've been having a conversation with Apple. Apple's sitting right now on 150, give or take, $1 billion of cash.
Yeah.
They're sitting on real cash, is what they have. And that's public info. It may even be a low number I'm giving you. So let's look at Bob Iger. Bob Iger chose the wrong enemies. What did Bob do? Bob chose parents as enemies. Bob chose parents as enemies, and he chose the transgender community as his allies. What? Your number one customer isn't kids. Your number one customer is the person that controls, has the power of the remote. That is the parent. You thought for a second the kid is putting on. You got to win the parents over. So what happens? Flop after flop after flop after flop after flop that Disney has. So for
Wrong, Patrick Bet-Davis. Wrong. The parents of today are not the parents of yesterday. And the same will be said in the future. All right? So, no. Bob Iger, he's playing the long game. He understands that society is changing. He understands that society is transgender. All right? That's what society is changing to. It's changing into accepting transgenderism, LGBTQ, IA. All right? That's what society is being molded to accept and change into. All right? So Bob Iger is banking on the future. Why did I say the parents of today are not the parents of yesterday? Because we can see that there has been a change. All right? There was a time in the West when the parents used to be extremely Christian, when they used to take Christian values very seriously. That is no longer the case. They have accepted atheism. They have accepted hedonism. They have accepted things like their kids being sexualized in schools. They have accepted all of these things. They even have accepted the sexuality that we see in Disney movies, the sexual references and so on. These days, they're extremely bold about it. I mean, I can understand the initial reaction that the parents are having. They have this initial reaction with, oh my, this is unacceptable, blah, 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 blah. But even these parents are more tolerant than the parents before. All right? And most of these kids, I'm sorry, it's now becoming normal for a child not to have two parents. Even that's being normalized. So Bob Iger is playing the long game. He understands, okay? Now this is a marathon. He understands that society is changing. He understands that society will eventually, okay? Parents will eventually accept this hedonistic message that's being pumped through Disney movies, all right? Which institutions like the education institution are helping. They are helping in that cause, in the cause of sexualizing kids to the point that the parents think it's normal. All right, we are getting to that point. The education system is helping parents understand that it's normal to sexualize kids. It's normal for a 10-year-old to find a safe place where they can masturbate. This is the type of stuff that's being taught in schools. Yes, you see some parents outraged by that, okay? But eventually, as time goes on, they will become more tolerant to it. They will become more tolerant. I'm telling you. So, PBD, I'm sorry to say it, but you're wrong on this one. You're wrong on this one. I know you're seeing that they're losing a lot of money right now, losing a lot of stock right now. I know how it looks. But when you take into account the fact that society is changing, believe believe you me, things will normalize again. Things they will start seeing Disney will start seeing profit again. All right, because we are not moving towards a society that's going to become more religious. We are not moving towards a society that's going to, operate off of religious values. We're moving into a society that's becoming more hedonistic, that's becoming more worldly, that's becoming more tolerant about, same-sex relationships. And this is being taught to children. The next generation will look at all of this as normal. Once our generation passes away, the next generation will be way more accepted. So Disney isn't going nowhere. Bob Iger isn't going nowhere. Despite of how bad things look right now, he isn't going nowhere. He understands that society is undergoing a social engineer, is being socially engineered to accept these ideologies. All right. And what is the religion of the West currently? And you can't deny it. You can't deny it. It's been like that for almost 100 years. With the rise of feminism. Guys, feminism, that's the religion of the West. That's a religion. Feminism is a religion. All right? People believe in it, people follow it, and so on. Feminism, secular humanism, atheism, evolution, all these are the religions of the West. This is what people are following. All right? And society has accepted these ideas, and it's allowing itself to, how do I say this? It's allowing itself to be normalized. It's allowing itself to operate off of these ideologies, in a very normalized way. All right. So, yes, guys, the future is looking like the future agrees with Bob Iger. It does not agree with PBD. And I know what it looks like right now, but this is not going to be the future parents. The future parents are going to embrace all the degeneracy that you see in Disney movies. They are going to embrace it. The next generation of parents, they are going to be okay with it, because most of them don't even have religions. Most of them don't have an ideology outside of themselves. They don't have an authority outside of themselves to tell them what's right and what's wrong. Such as, as a person who believes in religion, I have an authority, which is God. Most of them, they have embraced atheism. To them, they decide what's right and what's wrong. All right? And peer pressure, when you look at society, what society pumps the most, this is what people are going to go along with most of the time. And they're going to tell them that sexualizing their kids at school is good, and most people are going to accept it. Seriously. So yes, by the next generation, you're going to see more parents being more acceptant of what Disney is putting out there. So yes, I don't think PBD saw it from this angle, but this is definitely the case, and this is just definitely what's going to happen, because this is where the Western world is heading. And the Western world has an agenda. It wants to secularize the rest of the world. Israel is a secular country. They promote the very same ideals. So to me, the purpose of the West is right now, ever since it's separated from church and state, ever since that separation from church and state in the 1700s, it's always been to secularize the entire world. And under the secular world, ideologies like feminism, ideologies like secular humanism, they rule. They are the dominant ideologies. One might, I call them personally religions, and this is what most people are following. All right. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, if you disagree with anything I say, as usual, guys, please email us, and we'll arrange a time so we can have that discussion or that debate. And yeah, guys, see you next time. Peace.